Right, once more onto the breach. A lot more rolling from one side of the farm to that. We're nearly at the end though, there really is. I've just looked at the start of the harvester off because it is cosplay, not a normal worker. And it's got only about a couple of runs left to do, so there's obviously still a lot of straw runs, and this is the bit that, this is really why I do hate having like fields at all the side of the map. It's all of the running around, but it is true what I was saying though. It's only due to the way that I do my content. Daggerwin and all the rest of them, actually they can make this as part of the plot because they don't show everything, whereas this to me is a vlog, a record of like how I did what I did. I'd sort of do, I suppose it's because of the way that I am, that I do this more as like a, more as the game, sort of show tricks of the game. I mean, it's weird that obviously a lot of content creators don't, they do it as like stories. Mr. CLP is a storyteller and he openly says so. So he never focuses really on the mechanics. He'll show you his, I know obviously because I'm a massive fan, he'll show you all of his like contracts and all the rest of it, and I'm sure none of us believe 1 minute he didn't do what he says he does. But what I'm trying to say is I'm a firm believer and I want to show you how I did what I did, and obviously the fact is Mr. CLP is terribly successful and I'm not. So, no, Mr. CLP was once undiscovered, it is true. There many years he was you just kept plodding on, and there's been many times I've like sort of thought, oh, do I carry on? I think, to be honest, I thought, I mean, I've got so used to recording this. If I get 10 people or 12 people or 15 people view the things, I'm happy because I would be doing this anyway. This is my hobby. So like, if people wish to tag along, then I will, but I still try my best to try to tweak things so that it is entertaining, and that what I often call dynamic sessions, as I often sort of call it, is my attempt to like say, well, I really don't want it to be mega boring, and I really don't expect everybody to like look at every single bit. Is that going? Yeah. I don't expect people to watch every single bit of like every single session. Once, of course, we have finished with the wheat, we can actually drag 2 of these trailers at once, so it should be a lot better then. Always. Yeah, I'm not too terrible at this. But you like anything, it's Friday nights. I'm not expecting wonderful things. But it is true. Once we get this down, I'm quite looking forward to doing this. So I am going to like shut up because I really. Oh no, it's not. Oh, actually, that'll do. Yeah. Is it going or is it hanging around? It seems to be hanging around. Have we got a worker that's refusing to work, or does it need offloading, or we shall go and see, because no one's flashed up with a message to say, oh, it looks like they've abandoned ship, I think. Well, that's a bit, I don't think I got any message. Yeah, it has definitely abandoned though. They get that picture of the worker in them, don't they, if they're like actually going. So for some reason they really did not like carrying on. So, seeing the news today about precision farming actually coming on the 5th of May, so that's exciting news for myself. I really do like precision farming. Oh, I've got to be honest though, yeah, the one thing that is true is this fertilise once sort of is it's sort of in a way is an advantage over precision farming, because you don't need to lime every time. It's sort of base game liming, but you can fertilise just once. That was to me when I first went into precision farming. I don't mean I like it anyway, but what I mean is it, to me, one of the biggest advantages was the fact, let's just see, is this actually gonna, oh, maybe I said first, field detection. Okay, well, they're happy, I'm happy. Right, okay, so we'll leave this there, let that crack on. We'll grab this, but we are going to go into a time lapse because I've got to be honest, there's still a lot of straw to do, even with like lugging like 35 odd tons with 2. I have tried my best to add a roller to a I did the same with my seeder. I wanted my seeder, which was really started off as a fertilizer spreader. I wanted it to be, obviously I'm changing the function of a fertilizer spreader into a seeder, so I had to make it a seeder. Well, it looks like a fertilizer spreader, but it actually is a seeder. But obviously the game wants you to put on all the characteristics of a seeder, and would not let me do it completely because it knew deep down that it had started its life as a fertilizer spreader, even though within the within the XML, everything has a basic function, like it's a roller or it's a seeder or it's a planter. Now, some of these specializations you can add, but some you can't. So I thought, well, as a bit of a thing, what I would do is I'd change the Pilatus into a roller and see what would happen. So it was a roller, not a seeder or a planter. Well, it lost all of its ability to plant, even though it literally had all of the bits and bobs of the seeder or planter that it had been before I changed it into a roller. But it now rolled, which proved that I had actually done all of the bits for the roller correctly, because it did roll straight away, just literally. So it meant that I'd done the work area right, I'd done all the tweaks of the XML. But as soon as you stick it back to a seeder or a planter, it no longer rolls. It makes the noises, it does the animation, but it doesn't actually roll. So a bit like the seeder, I think I've got to concede, unless I was going to use... I don't like doing this. Now, obviously, we all know Farmer Simulator is a game where we're really playing with code. But I want to play with code to the point that if I could do it in... Well, I suppose I could do it in real life. That's the point. I could add a roller to the back of a planter seeder and it would actually work. In Farmer Simulator, because Giants have built the schema, as they call it. In other words, they tell the game what it is and is not, what we modders and what they themselves are and are not allowed. So although you can add certain functions, sorry for if this is a bit boring, but I thought most people might be interested in this. So although you can add some functions, it sort of either goes wrong with certain ones, or you basically can't do it. A bit like with my seeder. It has got errors. If I pull it out, I don't know if they went away. I think they always had an error, and that's I thought, well, let's have a look at FS22, because Chris S and Riley S, they actually had the planter the roller on top of their planter. It was one of them features I love, but I went on just to see, well, how did they do it? And basically the bottom line is they said the same, that they'd taken it off the roller ability off of the seeder planter because it was throwing errors up on PC. So I thought, right, well, if on FS22, which was a little bit more lenient than FS25, if they've taken it off on FS22, I really ought to give up the go. So I'm going to take my roller off. We have got a roller. I mean, literally have made a roller, but I really wanted to add a roller to the back of it, but I don't think it can be done. But it's nice as a modder to try to do these things, because some of them you can actually get away with. Well, a bit like with the planter. I've got a planter that's a seeder and a vegetable planter, because it's all a similar function. So the game will let you get away with that. The same as my harvester that's vegetables will let you do vegetables. It says it does potatoes. I'm not so sure it does. But I think that's that mod. One thing I am going to do is I am going to build in properly. Again, I'm trying to physically do models that actually literally don't look like Chris S. and Riley. And I'm not having a go at this. Please do not take that. They are cracking modders, and I love their work. When they did the roller, you didn't see the roller. It was a cheeky roller that was there, but it wasn't really there. What I did on mine was I put a roller on that's literally at the back, and I would have actually made it roll. So far, it's just a model that looks like a piece of metal that doesn't turn. But I was in time, if I could have got it to go, was going to make it. And that's what I'm trying to do on all of my models, is to make them, if I'm going to add a defoliator to go before the beet harvester, I'm going to make a model that actually does that. Now, I'm not sure you can actually have it on the same machine. Again, certain functions... Is that... Oh, no, it is. Yeah, it's just going to empty. Yeah, so... I think we'll probably get all of that as one more sort of bit from it, and then we'll crack on. So, yeah, so... I forgot where I got now. I hate that when you confuse yourself about where you're going. So, yeah, so bottom line is... No, I do, yeah. It's not, it's not got any in it, so it's not going to drop it. Right. Yeah, so on my models, I'm trying my best where possible. If I can add a function, a bit like this, you're allowed to add a ground pickup because there are ones of this kind that you can actually do that with. So I'm not adding a function that's not already in other ones of this type. So I'm not doing anything wrong. I realise if you look like that, you can actually see that it's not got depth. But again, there's only so much magic anyone can do with what the game will allow you to get away with. So I've done the best I can most of the time. Like once it gets past that bottom thing, you can see it's actually got depth. But if just at the beginning, when it comes up that bottom one, you can sort of see underneath it, and there's nothing you can do about that because it really is the way that the game is built. Because I've actually made the fill level have... it has got depth, and as you can see, even the top one, a little bit, it's got a bit of thickness to the straw. Now, try not to go too mad with that because, wow, I hate the way you do that on the field all the time. Right, how are we doing? Oh, it's on its last run, though, so we'll take the... Yeah, we'll send the harvester, although I think you'll probably give up. They don't like being sent on the map. It's not got good like nodes for like them finding their way, even though there aren't any roads. It's a beautiful map. I think it's probably because it's not got this splines for travel and all the rest of it. It's probably someone's first map, or I'm only guessing. I don't know. I could be talking total nonsense. So we'll run this one back, and I think we'll wait. There's not really much. No, because I may as well take them both, because then we can actually grab... Yeah, I think it is the last run. So we may as well wait, grab that last bit of grain to take it back, and then next time we'll be coming with 17... Yeah, almost 18 tons. So 36 odd tons a time of straw. I don't think there's that much for us to grab, really, but it's going to set us in good stead. It is, as I said yesterday, early this morning, when I basically said that you really... Part of the trick of all of the FSs is converting what you've got. So even this very first crop, you have got to have an idea what you're going to do with the wheat, or whether you're going to make it into seeds. It was one of my favourite ones in FS25 when I wasn't modding. Self-sufficiency, and it is the production shed was my favourite from G866 mods. That was a little tiny bit as well. Yeah, it was. I keep thinking of the farm supply production, and but it was the production shed by G866 mods that really... That and the farm supply production was sort of my motivation for doing the self-sufficiency, because the production shed, I don't know why I want to put farm in front of it. Yeah, the production shed, basically, it was really one of those cracking mods for making you sort of self-sufficient, for doing your lime, your fertilizer, all of that type of stuff. So again, I got into the habit of like really wanting to do it. It was also a good business, as was Death's Pledges as well. I used to use both of them almost always. But of course, as I sort of have said, I do also recognise that I really did it to death a little bit, which is why I'm not trying to do that a lot. I'm just wanting us to be self-sufficient. And obviously sometimes there's excess, so I will sell it then, because you would, wouldn't you? But I don't want to make it into a business. I have been busy. I'm hoping it's done. I've done a little tiny biogas plant, but I'm not sure. I might have to tweak it. Again, that's the whole reason for me doing this type of thing, is that I'm testing my own mods. This Let's Play, I want to try to use as many of my own mods as possible. Really, yeah, that's what for once I wanted to actually start the game, because it was always my dream. FS19 used to be able to do it. I used to constantly... I never used to do this where I needed to like... where are we? No, it is... Yeah, we've still got it. We've got both, haven't we? I'm just being silly. Yeah. I always used to start Let's Play straight away, because you could, because I did the used equipment thing mod, which we've got something similar. It's not quite working yet by Weasel, but it's not quite the same. But it is... It was the used... why is that not... That is grain. Am I not in the right place? No, I wasn't. Yeah, by Weasel, I'd say it isn't working. I've actually got it on. You're supposed to be able to press C and it's supposed to appear, but at the minute, it's actually not appearing. So yeah, well, I think we'll take this and we will follow this, and I will drive this and we'll take that back. Oh, he says as he clocks that. So we'll put that on follow and we'll run this back, and then we'll literally go into a time lapse as we grab the last of the straw off. But yeah, it is true. I really didn't have a need for because I could start straight away, even with 500 grand. I mean, obviously FS22 was a nightmare because you'd got your loan, and it really was a nightmare. So that was when I designed my let's do 6 months and get a bit of equipment behind us. And obviously it is unique, no one else does it, and not everyone's sort of happy with that particular sort of thing. But I just think, well, it is actually believable. If you were going into farming and you've got a bit of a pot of money, you wouldn't be able to afford on 300 or 500,000 a lot of equipment as well as a field. So I mean, based upon FS25 prices, it's even worse than that. I mean, not land hasn't gone up much, but equipment, although as I also said, Giants did do the odd bit of equipment. And I mean, I've got to be honest, for a fertilizer sprayer, I mean, the sprayer that they've done is absolutely out of this world. You really have got no excuse for yeah, I mean, FS22, I often used to go for the little 8 metre, but it's so tiny. And then there was a 12 metre that I often went for as well in FS22. But again, they were a bit tiny. A 21 metre for like about 6 or 7 grand is really absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm well pleased. Well, this needs fueling up, so we'll grab some fuel. Although actually we've got the header on, so yeah, we'll grab that. I'll grab the John Deere. I should have grabbed the John Deere now. I shouldn't say I grabbed it. We'll grab it next time. Am I heading in the right direction? I think we're over here. Actually, I think I'm going a bit. Oh no, I think we always have this forest on our left. I'm sure we do. I think I've come at this at the wrong angle. I'm sure they're the line of like things, and it's that forest that I aim for, and it's just sort of straight over here, which will be to our left in a minute. I think I'm right in saying that. I think. Yeah, I am. I think it is the same one. We're just hugged closely to it instead of like what we normally do. Yeah, so I would like to actually have a go at this shed. I like it, but it's just not. I mean, it's weird. On Riverbend Springs, I loved it, and I still do love it, but I think it just needs to be a little bit bigger, and it's not something you can stretch because it's got doors and all that type of stuff in it. So if you do stretch it, you're going to break things, which I know from other things that I've stretched that it's like not that easy to do. But I might have a go. It's almost there. You can fit quite a lot of equipment in it, but it just needs, I think, to be a little bit bigger, and I think other people have already done it. I think that some of the models we've seen, I would like to put another diffuse on it so that, although then I'm going to lose the wood. Yeah, I might have to do the doors differently. That's the only thing that, you know. Well, we did used to get this in. Yeah, we'll just drop this header somewhere over here. We need to like get rid of the step because I did used to actually put the harvester in that over there. So thank you very much, young lady. We will dump this, and then I think we're gonna like, yeah, do some monstrous amount of straw grabbing, basically. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased with our progress, and because I can know where this is going to go. You sort of do know, don't you, from like, well, how much. Yeah, we'll have a quick look before we scoot as well. It's another over 10.5 tons of wheat. Let's be patient. Let's like let it dump him first if we can save our. Yeah, I'm still leaving this on for a while. It's still a little bit volatile. I don't completely trust that the game isn't going to like thrash me. It's not done it for a while. It seems to be a little bit more stable. So yeah, it won't show you anything because it's actually in storage, isn't it? It's little. I thought it did inside your productions. It does the production silo. Yeah, it's weird. The production silo actually, it does sort of show you that almost does treat it like a silo. Whether it was because it was a silo, 78 tons. Wow, that is going to convert. If we look at the recipe for this, again, I've tried to make these all fairly believable. I have given digestate a chance because it's not normally used for anything, but obviously it's the real cost is the added chemicals that we already get. So the wheat one is, I think it's the bottom one. It was the original one. I only had this to begin with. So yeah, there's a lot. Half of it is digestate. There's a bit of stones which give it a bit of crunch. and the rest is the straw and the wheat, which means the wheat, it's sort of a cheeky recipe, but it's a good one, and so therefore you wheat to stretch quite a bit because it's only a quarter of the recipe to actually make the mineral feed, which it is a mix of stuff, so it's not totally unbelievable, but it is a little bit costly to actually make. So it's obviously added chemicals and bits and bobs that you can't do yourself that gives it the final cost. So it isn't cheap to make. Yeah, just again, the ones that I've done this, that's not terribly expensive to make because it really is almost natural things. Silage additive is very expensive to make, but it's worth a fortune. Not that you can sell it, but what I mean is I'm trying to sort of stay realistic as to like what is expensive and what isn't, and like the more natural the process, the cheaper it is to make. So yeah, that is sort of quite mediocre, quite high. That again is the same. Some of these are that manure from straw, because there's a lot of stuff you need to do to convert that. So yeah, this one is, I think, fairly good recipe. So right, anyway. Yeah, I'm going to go into a time lapse though, because we have got a lot of work to do. I would like to get this done for this session, so the next session we can actually go through the winter and actually see how well, from somebody else's efforts really, because let's be honest, we did not plant this thing of wheat. I don't know if it was actually fully fertilised. Sometimes it is now in FS25, it's not always totally unfertilised. So yeah, I'm intrigued to where we're going to go with this. Obviously, also we're going to need to grab some stones. I have also made an animal feed silo, and it will, for those who've been watching the channel, my mods, you may think it resembles quite a lot. Actually, I broke. Yeah, I've the buy point or sell point that obviously I usually stick it on most farms, so that I can like buy usually animal feed really is the main sort of thing, and it looks like a mini silo. Well, I wanted to make a mini cattle feed or a feed silo. I thought, why don't you just use a little production silo, make that sort of small. So I did, but I actually broke the original model and it lost its cap. It was almost invisible. I don't know what I did, but I didn't do anything. I just looked at it, went in, tweaked something, and all of a sudden it lost its cap. You could sort of see it partially invisibly, and I'm like, oh, what have I done? So I've had to like tweak it a little. The model is slightly changed, but it's similar to what it used to be. And I've now done a little animal feed one. I'm debating on what diffuse I'm going to use or what look I'm going to give it. I'll talk in English rather than mod speak. Yeah, I'm not sure whether I'm going to go for a metal silo. At the minute, I've got like it's very like metal grid type thing, very fine mesh, which I actually quite like. Alright, let's get this right. I'm going to go into a time lapse because we have got a lot to do, so I'm going to say my words. I'm going to see you guys and girls on the other side. at the time lapse because we've nearly done this. I would imagine. I did a test with this because it is classed as a vehicle. It still is. Basically, that's a minor function. It's not a major one. You're basically using the trick of like saying that it's a tractor on the map. So that's not. It still is a belt system primarily. That's his primary role. But obviously the game sort of sees it as a tractor, so I'm wondering how far we can push that. Now you cannot... It can't follow. Now there's no reason why in really, but obviously it's all about the way that Giants have allowed the game to be set up. I would imagine that this could probably be followed, but it all depends on how it's been classified. Let's just switch that off. I was almost going to bring the John Deere back. I know we might have to. I might literally not be able to follow it. I just want to see if this sees that as a vehicle and therefore can use follow me. Now, it can't follow because I tried it. I tried that a while ago, but I didn't actually... Ooh. No, it doesn't. No, it really does. It sort of does, but then like realises that, hang on a minute, that's not a vehicle. And I'm almost sure I've tested it this way around. It might have been that way already, but let's have a go. I don't think it can. I really do think it'll be a matter of me driving it and that worker going on his own steam. I mean, because obviously we're in this. Really, it's not supposed to be a magic thing. Yeah, it's definitely not. So, right, let's set that. In fact, we don't need to be doing that. Let's set that. And we might not be able to do this the full pelt. So it is a long way, and that's what I was saying. As soon as we've moved, we're going to like, we're going to sell this field. Yeah, now that we've finished with it, and I'm not going to try to like, oh, seriously? Oh, I did wonder if we'd be able to do it. We might get stuck as well, because it might not be very good going up the hill. It is only 50 horsepower. It's not like a monster or anything like that, and they're a little bit prone to, yeah, it's not terribly fast. It's fast, but it's only fast. I mean, also the one thing is, this is a bit of a cheeky mod naturally, in so much as Giants do not let this feel the weight of the straw, which is quite an advantage, because obviously this is tazzing along as if it's got no weight, where really it's got 13,000 litres of straw, which I suppose it's straw. It's still not going to be terribly heavy, really, but yeah, it has got no weight. It doesn't feel it. Which obviously you can sort of do with traders. I swear that H2 Studios did it with a 70-tonner, right? I remember thinking, this is really late on in FS22. I'm sure H2 Studios gave the 70-tonner a bit of weight, because I remember getting in and thinking, whoa, I'm struggling with this, because it was one of my favourite sort of trailers. I'm sure this has got heavier since the last time we used it, and I really do think... Now, do we hit those? No, we don't. Yeah, I remember it, and I thought, oh, now obviously as a modder I look and I think, they basically, like gave it weight and mass. Because before that, it used to be really easy to like drag it around. Let's be a bit realistic though. Let's actually do the height thing a little. Not that one, you're not allowed to. Oh, maybe you can't actually do it while you've got the top one out, which of course we can't put that in because it may be. Let's just have a look. I'm sure you can do this. Well, you can. I was going to say I could have sworn you could. Friday night. Yeah, the brain refuses to work properly. Oh. Fantastic. Let's go. Let's retrieve our tractor. Yeah, and then, in fact, let's sell this now. We have done everything that we needed to do, and we're going to buy. I'm going to sort of try to be sort of fair. So 49 is smallish. Yeah, I'm going to buy the ones sort of around 49. Yep. And 39. Yep. And 38. Yep. Will leave us as a little bit of a nest egg. Yeah, I don't want to like completely leave us destitute, but yeah, we've pretty much not really like been cheeky and left ourselves with a fortune. Why am I stuck? I think it was starting. It stops it, doesn't it, when you do something like that. So last lot of straw. Yeah, amazing. So we have finished with that field. We're now much, much closer. And we still own quite a lot of land. But it's going to be less like faffy for like you're going to step out your door like you would if you... The perfect farm almost. I do like that, especially being as I do insist on, you know, like showing everything if you're going to do that. So how much do we actually own right the way, sort of like across there? And we don't own that bit there. So what, is it 51 that gets that? It is. 51's a weird... Wow, it's quite a lot of land though. It owns a little bit of the forest and another section. Again, I'm not sure whether how flat they are. Looking at the undulations on this, I would imagine they're not totally flat. I'm quite glad that it's a lot of the map makers are going for real realism. There are very few flat maps. I like it. It's much more difficult to... I mean, Rizu Forest is a nightmare to work on. But I like it, as is Oak City. That also is very like up and down. There's certain bits that are fairly flat, and then there's a lot that aren't. It's very much like real life. JM Gaming does like his monstrous fields, so, and it's nice. I love the flowers in the forest. Beautiful. Yeah, very nice. I'm sure this is supposed to be a British map. I'm sure when I read about the map, I'm sure that seems to stick in my head, but I might be wrong. It has been known on many occasions. Right, so it's still in the month of August. Yeah, we didn't dart through. We actually stayed our course and got our field of wheat, which we're very fortunate to have. And we are going to make some mineral feed. So we need some stone. If we're going to insist on buying things from the shop, then we need to like go and grab some bags. And I'd like to do that now, even if it makes the session a little bit long, because really we do need to... Yeah, we'll borrow this as well. It's going to be a bit of a struggle because stones are really dense and really, really heavy. So it's going to be a bit... so let's do that now. Let's buy some bags of stone. Can you buy bags of stone, actually? I'm not sure you can. Consumables? I'm sure you can. I'm sure. Can you? I'm not sure at this stage of the game you actually can. If you can't, then we will actually buy it. But I thought you could. Forage harvesting, cattle consumables. What would it be under? It wouldn't be under food. I don't think there is. I think it's I've got so used. Oh, it could be in big bags. No, you can't. So we're going to have to do it that way then. In that case, we're going to have to do it the other way. So we will take the one that we're leasing, which I have no idea which one it is. So I suppose we could ask the shop to take it away, couldn't we? Yeah, we've just been hit for a leasing cost. Typically, we're just about to send it back. That is just typical. Let's grab this and send it back. Leasing the BI balls, BI small trailer, and return yes. Fantastic. And then we will see there's only one left. Ah, it was the one that was right behind me. Right, so then it looks like we've got to do this. The can only buy it loose at the minute. Nobody's made a bag of stones. Not yet, anyway. Or I've not got them in. I don't think... I think I've always started to use this, and I think obviously a lot of other people are doing the same, or you couldn't do anything else, could you really? So where are we going to stick this? I think... Yeah, so this is going to look slightly different, because I have actually... I don't know if I've done the price right of my... Oh, it's this one. I also realised, I was thinking about this and editing, I thought, you haven't put your sign down. You've not made the farm your own yet. So it's true, I haven't. No, it is container. It is. It's this little bit, and it is a bit different. Oh, I went for that one, did I, in the end? I'm just sort of, yeah, looking at it to see, is that... So we'll put this... No, we don't want to block the way. I'm trying to think. This is the central point, so Will it let us stick this sort of... Are we going to be blocking the way if I do that? Land is not owned by you. Right, okay. What about over here? So sort of at that point there. So we can sort of... If we go... That's it. We'll go like so. Alright, I've obviously taken the concrete and that off, which I don't mind actually. So let's just soften that. Yeah, so this has completely changed its modelling, apart from it's still... Oh, it's got the old... I thought I'd put the new one on. I don't know that I ever did on this one. Yeah, so this is sort of metal. Doesn't? Yeah, it's the diffuse. The diffuse is the diffuse from this, but with a different texture. So you can't do much about the joining because it's the way that the original one joined, because it had got like a weird thing down the middle. So unless you remake the model and remake the diffuse, you can't actually do much about the way that it does strange things with the joins. Because you can see those round things in the middle, they're actually running in a specific way. That's because the original model ran like that. So I can't really do much about the strangeness of that unless I actually change the model itself. It doesn't look too terribly. It does a little... yeah, I would prefer it to be one of the metal type ones, really. It would match a little bit better. But we'll see. In time, when I get a bit better at me modding, I will actually like do things that are a bit more tricky to do. I am getting better. Even I recognise that. I've never been one to give myself much credit for things. But even I look at my first models and I think, well, you're doing actually, you're not doing bad. You're doing quite a lot of stuff, really. So, stone. I don't know how much. I don't really need a lot of stone either. I don't think it's too terrible. I think there's probably one complete low. Or we could do some lime as well. It is very cheap, which it would be. Stone isn't terribly expensive. So I think we will grab 2 loads, one for some lime. Oh, we're going to need some water as well. We could afford a water tanker now. Now I think I'm going... Am I? No, I suppose no. I am for now. Got to work on my water tanker, my big one. It's the one that I did myself. And it's a little bit too high, so I'm not going to bring it into this Let's Play just yet. If I get a chance over the weekend, I will actually have another go at it. So I'm going to use my original Abbey convert that uses compression technology to store more water, which is sort of... You can actually do it. It's pressure cookers use the same kind of technology, as do a lot of storage systems. Water storage, hot water storage systems use that same kind of thing as well. So let's just grab one of those. So we're going to use just my original system rather than the new improved, bigger, but like is a bit bad. Yeah, this one... Which one is that? No, this is the medium general tanker. That's my own model. It's not quite right at the minute, so we're going to go for the smaller one. 17. Fantastic. And we do need that water. We're going to need to stick a tap down. So let's switch everything on. Well, we need to put some water in too for the lime, I think. I think it's got a bit of water to make it work. And we want the mineral feed, which should be now actually able to be switched on. Which we have stone, straw, wheat. So stones digestate. We said we weren't allowing the buying of more than one thing. So we are not going to be doing that at all. Because we have not... got any digestate. Right, let's stick that down and move it out of the way a little bit. Well, we do have a bit of grass, so we might have to like lease or buy a system for actually... Yeah, I think we'll lease because we need to cut it quickly is what I'm thinking. Then we can do the digestate from the grass, I think. So that will be definitely another session. Yeah, that's typical, isn't it? I just thought I was doing so well. I've totally forgotten about digestate. Totally forgotten. And I did know. I remember like thinking about it. You need a digestate, but like totally forgotten. So that can go just there. Fantastic. Right, so then, I think it's going to be a short session. I realise that, but it is true. We could get the water in though. Let's do all that we can do. Then it's just the digestate. Although really, the water's only for the lime, isn't it? Now then, that is true. Yeah, I was just thinking. It is true. The other thing is I have got to make a mower myself. Now, my favourite mower was the HX20. I wouldn't mind making something like that that's just a pull up and a pull down system, because I think it's a lot easier than the others. You could make it a little bit bigger. Oh, I'd forgotten we bought that as well. Yeah, amazing. Oh wait, we're not very far from it. I was going to say let's stick that on top of there, but I really don't think there's a need for that at present. Right, smashing. So we will we stick what? Do we need to do that at the minute? It's more about the digestate than anything. Yeah, there is a mod that I really have wanted to try. I think I've got it in mowers. I'm not sure. I think it's a mower stroke mulcher. I've not had a chance to use it. It might actually be in the mulcher section, but I swear it actually... No, it's not. It is under mowers. I think I've got it in. I always forget what the mower section is. It is... Yeah, the first mod by Ridiculous Dominic. Yeah, I'm very, very pleased that he's not given up the ghost. So let's have a look at this. Oh! A double 4 metre. Ah, very intriguing. I do like that. It's, yeah, very, very nifty. It's not very big. Very low horsepower, though. Yeah, the one I'm thinking is this one here. The Batwing. I really do like by Gaming G Joy. Obviously, yeah, there's these beautiful... but this here... I think you can also mulch with it as well. So I'm thinking we'll lease this and like really trash fan. What does that mean? I have no idea. Oh, I don't. It's that thing in the middle. I don't know what it means though. Whether that means it literally. Oh, I bet it's if you put that on, that's the mulchy bit of this. Because there's not much. I looked at it once and I thought, well, I don't get how do I turn it into a mulcher? Because we don't want it to mulch the grass. And I'm quite sure that it doesn't. I love the shape of it. It's really very, very nice. So I'm going to lease that. We do indeed for next session. And we'll just have a bit of a task. Do you always want to like try something? And we can use this one, strangely enough. So we'll have a look and see. Obviously, we don't... As I said, I do love the belt system, because it really does away with the need. It's a very, very... 27,000 for a baler and a windrower. I mean, we know it's not a baler. What I mean is also chuck it into a normal trailer. So it really cuts out an awful lot of need for specialist things. Now, we know it looks cheeky, but it is only depicting you grabbing stuff off a field. Like all farming simulator bits and bobs, it sort of cuts out a bit of the reality of the situation. So I'm hoping this really does not, yeah, does not do any damage, as in like that it's not mulching, that it actually cuts. It's a very nice looking one. Yeah, I might do something similar myself, but I will completely... I was going to do something, but this actually I think suits my... Now then, we also need to... Let's just first of all make sure we actually cut in the grass and we're not mulching. Yeah, well, we will have soon. Yeah, that's definitely cutting the grass. Fantastic. Right, so then... yeah, this is the bit, right, we're going to have to do a cut to find the edges of our grass. And we are going to do the whole thing. So this first little bit, I'm going to go into very brief times, because we really do need to find the edges of our field. So I'm literally... This is like a quest to try and find the edge. And then next session I could do a courseplay draw of the edge of the field based upon what we actually do here. So I would imagine we have right to the road. It would make a bit of sense, but then again that's might not be quite right. Now, we didn't go right up to this forest. We saw that. Right, anyway, yes, time-lapse time. Because typical me, I'm extending the session as always. So I'm going to say my words. I'm going to see you guys and gals on the other side. And that, I think, is not a bad place to actually leave it. So we will grab, we'll set this going, and we will grab the grass whilst this actually starts to work. So, in fact, no, because the second I stop the cameras and stop it, it really will stop anyway. So that it's not like a standard work. I do actually quite like the standard workers because it's quite an advantage that they can poddle on as soon as you come in, because you're usually doing all the things and you look and you think, oh, it's rolled off my field. It's quite amazing. I'm quite enjoying, for the very first time in Farming Simulator history, actually quite enjoying doing that. So yeah, I'm quite amazed. Right, so it is a beautiful bit of kit actually. That is, I'm really impressed with the modelling on it. Very, very nice. So yeah, I would like to make something similar, because it's the simplest form of one to make, really, bar the bar mower. And I was going to do the bar mower, but I think this would be easier to do the animations of the wings just rising up. Really, I think you could technically really have one that was, for me, a simple modeler like myself could just have one that's just 7 meters, and you have to put it on the thing. But I'm going to go for the folding. Yeah, I'm quite sure that I can do that. I know how to do it. Yeah, I've watched, and it would be good practice as well for me to start doing those kind of animations. So, well, I have started to do it on me models, but only because I'm using the Giants models to actually do it. So it would be nice on my own models to actually bring a bit of bending and animations for the wings raising up. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. It's been a cracking session. So we've got a monster session that I really didn't think anything about with our new, with our new sort of fields, which can we actually, you probably can see if you do the harvested bit, because it should show a bit of green, shouldn't it really, on the, So the next one? No, it doesn't show it, does it? Yeah, no. Obviously, it was a proper field. It would show that we just harvested some grass, but because it's not a proper field, it's not showing anything, is it? So yeah, we'll get this off next time. Get that in there. Grab some water. We'll stick a tap down. Yeah, I'm looking forward to testing this because I've moved this around a bit. So really, this is now separate from this over here. Yeah. The one thing I was just going to show. This is my baby silo. And it is a production silo. I thought, well, why don't you make a production silo? You know, like a mini production. I don't think I've got the price right. It's yeah, it should be. Oh, I did actually do it in the end. It is tiny. It sort of looks like you can see through it. It is, as it says, it's a tiny silo, but it is specially made for like, yeah, you can sort of almost see through it. But I suppose the light shines, which it would with mesh. Really, it's very fine mesh. You can't actually see through it, but it is sort of, yeah, as you get closer, you can see you can't see through it. It's just the light reflecting off the holes. I'm not sure whether I like it or I'm not, but we shall see. Yeah, so it is a really tiny one. It has... are we gonna, no, I suppose we could... Yeah, let me show it. It is nice to sort of show what you've been doing. And it is a baby production silo, so it really is... So we're not really going to put this down, but just to sort of show it, we will. It is very, very reasonable because it really is just a feed silo like the 1000 ones were. Yeah, it's true. We don't really need to worry about this because we're not going to save it. We've got auto save on. We have got auto save on. And you can guarantee it's going to like do it, can't you? Just going to be one of those things you say, oh, I'm not going to save it. And then all of a sudden the auto save goes bang and you go, oh, no. So we should, and it's got not altered that. Yeah, that's from the original size of the silo, which actually, as you can see, is actually something like that. So I need to tweak that rather a lot. Yeah, because I think that footprint's a little tad too big for it, really. It's got a teeny weeny little grate, which, yeah, it's one of the giants. It's one of those dynamic ones, but it really is, obviously, it's still a proper production silo. It really is, but it's a tiny, weeny one. Its storage, likewise, is not massive. It is 27,777 litres. It's meant to be pushed to. It's still got every single type of thing. So although it is tiny, that's why I've called it. I was originally going to call it feed silo because it is only got tiny little amounts of storage. I was thinking, I might also make some that are dedicated, but I suppose... Yeah, it's just the fact you've got to go through all of the things like this and switch them on and off. Whereas, like, if you did a few different types, like you called one a feed silo and one a straw silo, what you could do is actually have all forage-related products and all feed, like pig food and all of those. And then you could actually up the storage because you're only having about 5 or 6 things stored within it. And you probably would only likely store... animal feed, like if you've got cows, you'd stick cow feed in it, and you know, like you wouldn't stick anything else. So yeah, that's the way. But it is very similar to my old one. It's the same grating that was used on that. I really do quite like it. It's quite nice. I worked on it for quite a lot. I tried lots of different colours, and the black was the best. The white, there was a white one, and it was a bit too bright, and it looked a bit like a heavenly, a bit too unrealistic for like the Earth, basically. So I've gone for this. It's the closest to, yeah, like things. So yeah, this is it. And I do think I probably will. I was thinking this earlier. I thought, do you release it as a production? I thought, well, we will to begin with, because to be honest, this is the base model. So what I'm trying to say is, what suits one person doesn't necessarily suit another. Really, you know, that what I think I'm going to use this for. So I'm going to have this one as a baby production silo that really is a very, very tiny, with not a lot of storage, which is really for anything, little bits of anything. And we could make a bit of a bigger one that's like, again, not terribly expensive, but it is only small. It's not supposed to be hundreds of thousands of litres like the small multi-fruit. And then what I could do is like feed bins. It's true, like where we've got like all forage related products can be stored in it. all root crops related, and we could make a bigger one, I suppose, for root. Although, to be honest, these already store them in the bigger ones. Not that this is a but and people might think, oh, why have you gone for? I've gone for a silo model. I was sort of thinking, you can actually see right the way through that. I can see the things through it if you look like that. I need to do something about that, because that would be a bit unrealistic. Yeah, I need to give it a bit more structure, I think, because I can't have that. So we might actually end up with the similar to this one here for that as well. I did debate on whether or not, and that really now I can see through that like that. It's a bit like, because obviously that means there's nothing in it, but it's weird because if you come up to it, you can't really see through it. It's a bit strange, but you can see through it from a long way away. So I don't know why it's like that, but we'll have to do something about it, because it looks a bit strange if we go for that. So yeah, I should have another tweak. But yeah, this is my first thing, so I will be like doing this, and this one I am going to release for the model, but I obviously need also, I'm going to take a picture as I go out to see this, and obviously I'm not saving the game, so this is just, yeah, just for you to see, and it is called the Tiny Silo. I will do another one where it's feed silo or forage silo that is just for storing forage. I will give it probably 100,000 litres or 77,000 litres or something like that, so it's a little bit more. And the reason I've chosen production silo, yeah, and I was talking about the silos. I've done that thing where I like flip on straight onto something else. I chose the silo model because they go very tall, and you can have them as big or as small as you like, and the footprint is the smallest in the game. But there's lots of silos. Silos are a common thing you see on a farm, but it would be quite easy to convert to put a door in it and actually put equipment in it. So I thought, well, it's not. Yeah, I mean, when you consider like the Matana Farm Supply production, that thing holds millions of litres of water and all that. So what I'm trying to say is, it's cheeky, but this is sort of cheeky, but in a realistic sort of way. I am sort of going for sort of realism, where it's sort of a believable, like it's a bit cheeky, but it is believable. So that's what I'm really aiming for on all of these. So that's why the amounts on this. But the other thing is, it's a production silo, so you can like think, well, yeah, I would normally put a sell point like that one right next to the. I thought, well, hang on a minute, if we're going to on some Let's Plays make our own TMR with, say, the self-sufficiency, which is part of this job, pig food and cow and TMR, we could mix it in here and send that right to next door to the cows or the pigs or the sheep, and we could literally grab it from this every morning, freshly taken with that. Obviously we know the workers really in the background are taking the stuff from there to there, so yeah, they'd be topping it up overnight, and we'd get it fresh for the cows, the sheep, the pigs, whatever we're doing in the silo in the next morning. So yeah, I quite like the idea of it. So that's my reasoning behind why you might think, oh, it's a bit boring. All you've got is like, so which I'm trying to colour them differently, and I want to do better diffusers. Obviously, I want to get a bit better at modding, and I want them to look completely different. So yeah, it's do like the rope. Even the rope follows the same picture, the same colours, which is weird because on this one, mind you, it had different diffuse sections, whereas this one I did everything all in this. So I can make this look a little bit better than this, yeah, no, which I will do. Right, oh, how's a point? Does that autosave if you switch it off? No, it doesn't. It's just telling you it's time to autosave. Right, so yeah, that is the end of this session. I am going to leave this one as the others, because this is a sort of a linear. I am sort of wanting your input on whether or not I do the catch-up section, because it can, on certain sessions, catch people out, and I think it might be confusing to new viewers. But I would like to, obviously those who do view all the time, the regulars that do sort of watch, I would really love to hear from you all as to, like, is it a good idea, the catch-up section? In my mind, it seemed to be a good idea, and I've been doing it for quite a while now, but I've never had anybody like say it's a good idea, never heard anyone say it's a bad idea. So I really would appreciate a bit of a show of hands, if that's, if you would all just, like, even just a few of you, yeah, if like 3 or 4 take the time out of their busy lives just to like say, well, it's confusing, or well, no, it's a good idea, or again, perhaps an idea for yourself as to, well, is there a better way for me to do it? I am definitely all ears as to like what you think. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. So all that remains to be said is thank you very much for watching. Truly do hope you're going to stick with me on this journey. And I'm going to say goodbye for now.